Hi, everybody. Welcome to Balls and All. And as always,
we're swinging today, buddy.
As always, you'll always find us somewhere else. And here we are at a sport that's probably, like some sports, waning just a little bit. Waning. You like that?
Yeah, I like that waning. That was very good.
Waning just a little bit.
Hey, you almost bowled me over with that one.
That's right. Yeah. I know where to put the fingers anyway. Okay, we're here at Fairlanes Ball, right in the middle of the city, and there's a big competition on between all the states. People have come from all over the place, Victoria, New South Wales, all over.
And they even got their sleeping bags here, everything.
So let's get the balls and all rolling, as we say. And as you can see, I've got Wayne with me. Hey, Wayne.
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Moose?
Good, mate. Good.
Yep, we both had our orange juice today, so we're ready to get right to it. And I see you went in my wardrobe and got very bright. Thank you.
Yeah. I just want to point out, be seen, be safe. Remember the weather, the cold weather's coming up, and
it's usually as frosty as the reception we get sometimes when we go out. So.
Sometimes. Yeah, he gets a frosty reception. And be seen, be safe. I wore it for a reason because the weather is changing. It's getting wet. People still ride motorbikes and bicycles.
Season's
Take extra
changing.
Careful on the road.
Season is changing too, from footy to cricket.
That's right.
Oh, sorry.
And gridiron's coming up soon, don't forget. So make sure when you're out on the road, obviously keep an eye out for motorcyclists and bicyclists and pedestrians.
And probably Robbo too. Because I'm a bloke. I'm a yabo, and my best friend's name is Robbo.
Must be a song.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of song, we've had a few emails of people saying they really enjoyed last week's show and they really liked, the week before show when we went into your recording.
Oh, cool.
And we're going to play one of Wayne's songs. As a lot of people requested, they said they'd like to hear one of his songs in full. And
full and no bull.
And so we're going to have that a little later on. Well, we're here at the Fairlanes Bowling Alley. We're going to catch up with some of the competitors from all over the place. But first what we're going to do, we're going to cross over to James, and he's talking to the manager, Gary Hall-Jones, of the 10-pin bowling alley right here at Fairlanes. So we're going to catch up with James and see where he's at.
Oh, James!
Yes, thanks a lot to Moose and Wayne for that. And as I said, I'm speaking to Gary Hall-Jones, who is the tournament director. How you going, Gary?
Good, thank you. Welcome to Fairlanes.
Yeah, thanks a lot. What's today's event all about?
Okay, what's going on here? It's the Perth 10-pin Cup. It's bowled every June on the long weekend, over 3 days. This year we've got 72 competitors who've bowled 16 games qualifying.
Yeah.
We've now got the top 20 behind us who are bowling a further 19 games to try and determine who'll be the top 5.
Yeah.
Eventually we'll end up with a winner. They'll receive $2,500 cash and about $1,000 worth of entries into other tournaments.
Yeah. What's the scoring? How does that work?
Okay, the scoring to what you see behind us is very high this year, actually.
Yeah.
What bowlers are trying to do is always strike. In other words, knock over the 10 pins in the first shot of each frame. 12 of those in a row is a perfect game.
Yeah.
This weekend, we've had about 8-10 games over the 270 mark, so it's good high scoring this weekend.
Yeah. Now, some people think, maybe I can't do this and I'm not good enough. Is it hard to get into singles bowling like today? Does it take many years, or can someone come down, learn how to bowl and be able to compete within a year or so?
Yeah, certainly. Most of the people that you'll see behind us have probably been bowling for 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
There's a young guy out there today who's only just coming up to 17 next week.
Yeah.
And he's probably been bowling since he was a wee high kid.
Yeah.
They build themselves up. People can start with any ability at all, because all the bowling centres will have leagues, teams. They can start off with really low average, work their way up, get a bit of coaching, take it as serious as you want, or you can just keep going for the fun of it.
Yeah. Now, like today is a singles event. Do you have couples or team events coming up regularly, and is it hard to get involved with that kind of stuff?
No, it certainly isn't. It's easy for anyone to get involved. All they really need to do is contact their nearest 10-pin bowling centre in Perth or anywhere within regional WA.
Yeah.
But we have tournaments for doubles. We have teams events in September, but most of your bowling centres will have something on every weekend for people to come and have a look at or to get involved with.
Yeah. Now, as you said before, this event has been going over 3 days. How's it looking so far? Very competitive?
Oh, very competitive.
Yeah.
The gentleman that's in front at the moment, Brenton Davies, over from South Australia, he's shooting about a 228 average at the moment over 35 games. Wow. He's still got another 5 to go, but he's doing well.
Yeah. Now, I'm a very unexperienced bowler. I usually like the gutters a lot. But for someone to, what is a perfect score? Like you said, 10 strikes.
12 strikes in a row is a perfect game.
Yeah.
That's 300. That's what they're all aiming for.
Yeah.
And all the centres have awards for people that achieve these high games. Even your lower average bowlers can achieve awards.
Yeah.
There's a great award system in this sport. It
Yeah.
helps everybody out.
Yeah. Okay, now if anyone's out there watching who might want to join a team or just do it for fun or get involved seriously, is there a number they can call?
Certainly is. They can call Fairlanes in town if they like. We're in Adelaide Terrace. Our phone number's 9325 3588. Or just look in the white pages or yellow pages. They're bound to find a centre nearest to where they live.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time anyway, Gary, and we'll talk to some of the competitors later.
Great, thanks a lot.
Okay, also recently Moose went down to the Kalamunda and he did a story on young kids playing Australian rules footy, so take a
Hi
look.
everybody, I'm up at Kalamunda and we got some little footy players here, and I'm happy to talk to one of the coaches, Dave Clark. Hi Dave.
Hi Moose, how are you?
Good mate. Now tell us a little bit about your team here.
Well, at the moment we've got the 11s on. They're playing modified rules, which means there's no wraparound tackles, there's no sling tackles. It encourages them to develop their skills. The first quarter they have to actually kick with their non-preferred foot, so it encourages skills on both sides of the body. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's no scores kept, so it's purely there to encourage the kids in that regard.
Great. So you don't really get the ugly parent involved as well either, do you?
Oh, well, it certainly minimises the ugly parent. I mean, there's a competitive element, I think, in all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it keeps it to a minimum.
Yeah, and it really brings out what really sports should be about, is the fun of it all.
Well, exactly. You don't want people being put off football at an early age with it being too physical, too vigorous, and it just it teaches them to get ready for it. Whereas when they get to 13s, then they're playing full rules and they're ready for it.
Right. Now, you mentioned to me earlier you've actually got quite a big squad, and you've actually broke it into two.
Yeah, well, the philosophy of the Kalamunda Footy Club is to make sure that kids get a game of footy. So rather than sitting there saying we'll just select a really top bunch of 20 and forget about the kids that are on the fringes, we've got enough kids to just get two sides together. The rules are we've got to split them evenly. As a consequence, we're perhaps not as competitive as we'd like to be. But at the same time, kids are getting footy, playing footy, and
having a good time.
Well, the late developer hopefully will benefit from that.
All right. Now, what happened here? The bell's just gone. What does that mean?
Oh, that's three-quarter time, the 11s.
Okay.
We break them into 4 15-minute quarters.
Right.
So they swap ends now, and as you say, no one's keeping score, so they're all having a bit of fun. And nice thing on nice night like tonight, of course, all the parents can come out as well.
And you think you got any future Scott Cummings or Peter Materas or Mooses out here?
Well, Scott Cummings actually is a product of the Kalamunda Footy Club. Funny you should mention it, yeah. Look, I don't think I'd blow anyone's trumpet at this stage, but I won't put any raps on any particular player. But yeah, there's some very skillful footballers up here.
Good, and the beauty is they're here to have fun, have a bit of mateship, and get to learn. Is it just guys only, or guys and girls at this age, or what?
Up to 13s, girls can play as well.
Good.
And they're encouraged to do so, but at this stage I don't think we've got too many in our actual club.
All right. Now, if someone around this area says, cool, I wouldn't mind having my little fella or little girl get involved, what number would they ring?
I suppose they're going to ring me, Moose.
Sorry, Mrs. Clark.
Ring me on mobiles, most probably best, 0408 25 4705.
Great. Okay, well, thanks for talking to us, and all the best with your team.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Moose. Nice meeting you.
Thank you. Yeah, James, thanks a lot for sending off to the story. It was really good seeing the little tiny kids up there, because that's where all sports begin, of course.
At that level, and you'd be surprised how many young superstars you have at that level. You see this film 5 or 10 years from now, and you'll be amazed at how many guys are maybe in the West Coast Eagles training squad or what have you. So
for sure. Now, a lot of support obviously goes into running any kind of club with the coaches and all the volunteers and everybody else. So everyone should remember that. There's a lot of effort goes into this. So congratulations to the coaches and all the volunteer staff, the people that cook the sausages and supply you.
And for the moms and dads who went through that tremendous effort to have the kids.
Yeah.
That was fun. Anyway.
Have the kids come and play football is what he's saying, of course.
Yes.
All right, well, we're going to be going to a break, and we'll be back right after these messages here at the Fairlanes Bowling Alley.
That's right. We'll be fair.
Yes, welcome back from the break, everybody. And as you know, it is balls and all.
And we're just swinging. Hello.
Yeah. Now, Wayne, recently you and the Moose and most of the gang went up to Kalamunda, and they had a Crackers Keenan footy night. Would you like to explain a bit about that?
Yes, that was a gala event up in Kalamunda. It was a great event in the sense that it was a lot of nostalgia there. You had people from Crackers Keenan's era, you know, which is pre-Stone Age. No, from the 70s and
What was it all about
80s.
anyway, Wayne?
Well, basically, it was to raise a bit of awareness and what have you for, footy in the Kalamunda area.
Yeah.
They have a very proud tradition. Actually, Scott Cummings, who is one of the most prolific, goal kickers for the Eagles at present, came from that club. So
really?
the club has a proud tradition.
Yeah.
So it was about that. It was about people getting together, and as some of these guys say, get together, tell a few jokes, a few lies, and have a bit of fun. Yeah. So that's what this story is about, and this is my interview with Crackers Keenan. Actually, a great guy, a great interview as well.
Hello, my name is Wayne Simmons for Balls and All, and we decided to swing on down to the Kalamunda Football Club to talk to some of the legends of the game. I mean, behind us you have prominent players like Carl Langdon, former West Coast Eagle and championship premiership performer. We also have Scotty Cummings in here, a great kicker for the West Coast Eagles. Now what we're going to do is talk to one of the greats of the game, Crackers McKeenan. See if we can get Crackers over here. Okay. We're on the sneak cam. We're sneaking, moving, sneaking. Don't know. Gotcha. We've got everybody else trying to get in there.
What's your name?
Wayne Simmons. Pleasure. We've got it all happening here. It's chaos as you would expect at a normal footy club get together, and we're here with Crackers McKeenan. How you doing, Crackers?
Crackers Keenan, not Crackers McKeenan.
Oh, sorry, I'm getting the Scottish in there. I kind of look Scottish tonight. Sorry.
Irish descent.
Oh, sorry. Okay, then could you tell us the one or two people? There's only probably one or two people who don't know who you are. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your football pedigree?
Well, I played for Melbourne, North Melbourne and Essendon. I played in the Premiership, and I've been around for a long time. I coached at Collingwood for 10 years, a couple of years at St Kilda after I retired, and now I'm down at Geelong, down with the Cats, down with Bomber Thompson. And I've got to go back there tonight and on the Midnight Horror and go to Colonial Stadium and coach there tomorrow night.
Now, what would be some of your fondest memories as a player? What would be some of the most memorable times for you?
Belton Don Scott, missed out in the grand final, playing in the Premiership. Playing for my state, I suppose, and I played over here in State of Origin in South Australia and a few things, playing for Victoria, and I just played a lot of games. I ended up playing 240 games, and I got reported 8 times, Belton blokes, so they're always fond memories, and I suppose.
Good. In typical Australian form. Now, if you could just tell us what got you involved in football.
Oh, look, in Victoria, where it's a home of football, where it all started, we all just played football as kids, and I was a big kid in the farming area, and you just get stuck into it. And I went to a boarding school called Assumption College, and that's one of the great nurseries of Australian rules football, and I just went from there straight to league. I left there when I was 17 years of age, and I was playing league football by the time I was 18.
Wow, I guess Assumption College was right in assuming that you could play footy. Now, you're over here tonight for this event. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, it's a sportsman's night, and Scotty Cummings and Carl Langdon and myself are going to speak and talk about our prowess on the ground and what we did, and we'll just have a good night, man. Drink a bit of beer and reminisce and tell lies. We don't tell the truth, we tell lies.
Well, you're in the right spot. Now, a lot of people talk about the rule changes in the game today. Now, playing back when you played, okay, would you say it was far more physical then than it is now, or what would you say about some of the players of today? Could they have stood the punishment back in your day?
I would have eaten about 3 or 4 of them. We were supposedly very tough in the 70s and the 80s, and it was a more physical game. It was one of those games that there was only one umpire when I first started, and it got to 2 umpires. There was no trial by video, so you could waste a couple when you're out there. And we used to do that, and now it's changed. It's probably changed for the better. I got most of my teeth knocked out and 5 broken noses, but I got a couple. I was happy to have to win a few every now and then. But yeah, it was a very tough game in those days. It's not as it's quicker now. It's a better game, but it wasn't as physical, and I'm glad about that because you just don't like to be maimed. I had to had blood in my hands every week, and I'd drip him with blood, and I had to go and see people in hospital after I'd belted them. It was always bad. You don't want the grief going to hospital and seeing your opponent.
Exactly. I couldn't think of anything more nightmarish of an experience. Now, do you have any children that play the game now?
Yeah, I got a kid that plays. He's 22, and he played over in South Australia, and he's now playing in the VFL, which is the 2nd grade. And he plays for Coburg Fitzroy. He goes all right. He might get drafted next year, but he likes a bit of drinks. But he's 6'6", and he's a nice, dirty mongrel, which is good. He's bred the type, which is good.
Oh, excellent. I wonder where you got that from. Now, tonight, does it bring back fond memories for you being here? Like, what would be your most memorable time? You know how guys talk about what happens in the locker room and what have you. What would be your most memorable time?
My most memorable time playing in a premiership with Malcolm Blight and Wayne Schimmelbusch and folks like Barry Cable and that, and just a fellowship that I was with when we were at North Melbourne. Now they're called the Roos, where Wayne Carey plays. But playing in some of the great games, you turn up at the MCG and play against Collingwood, and there'd be 80,000 people there to have a look at you. It was a good day, and if you played shit, you're in a bit of strife. But and I'm still great friends with all the blokes I played with, and a lot of the opponents I played with, I'm still great friends because it wasn't that serious in those days. We were getting a lot of money, but we were able to have a bit of a joke, and get away with it. But now it's full on, and I don't know if they enjoy it as much as we did. We really did enjoy it.
Now, I'm sure during your time, I don't know if you played in the same area as the great Ted Wooten. If you did, could you tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, I only played 1 year against Teddy, and I played on Teddy Whitten actually, and when I played state football, he was looking after in the state football, but I actually played on him. He took a swing at me a couple of times, and we were great mates, and it was really sad to see Ted go, and I lost a great friend there because we used to knock around together, but he was old and buggered when I played against him, but they reckon he was just an absolute out-and-out champion, But I played against him in 1970, and I was only a kid of 18, but, they just reckon he was tremendous.
I think one of the most memorable moments would have to be when Ted Wooten, at the end, when he came around that oval with his son, and, he was, about blind, then he was on his way, and, the standing ovation that he got, I thought that was a big credit to him.
I played against his son, Ted Witten Jr., and he asked his son, and we were commentating on the game, to stop the car and to wave to all of us there because he used to commentate with us. And there wasn't a dry eye in the place, and it really was. They stopped the car and he waved. He was blind at the time, but he knew where we were and he waved. And that was the last time I saw Ted. I went and saw him a couple of weeks before he died, and it gets a bit emotional when you see an icon like that going out, but we all have to get there, don't we?
Yeah. So what's next for you?
Help Geelong win a premiership. I've been at Collingwood when we won a premiership under Lee Matthews, and I look after the big blokes down at Geelong, Stephen King and blokes like Peter Street and David Mensch and these blokes, and by kid from Perth, Paul Lindsay. I just hope I improve them a bit and have a good time.
Okay. Well, one question. What do you think you guys would have to do now to make the 8 this year?
We're up there. We're 4th at the moment, so we've got a chance. We've got a hard run in the next 3 or 4 weeks. We've got to win a couple of those, and we're a real chance, won't? And if we get there, we're there. And you got to be there. If you're not there, you ain't got any hope at all.
That's right. You got to be in it to win it. And we just want to thank you, Crackers, for your time and wish you every success. You've had a fabulous career, and I'm sure you're going to keep on going and doing well.
Can I have that necklace? That is magnificent.
Thank you. I've got my bodyguard over here making sure it doesn't go. Thank you to Crackers Keenan for that interview. He's doing a great job as assistant coach over at Geelong, and we wish them every success. Okay, as we move along, we're still here at the Bowling Lanes at the Perth Cup, and I am talking to Paul and John. Paul, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Very good, and John?
Good, thanks, Wayne.
Okay, then now, John, you're from Perth. How long have you been bowling, and how did you get to this level?
I've been bowling for 13 years, and actually 15 years. and a lot of practice and some good coaching. So thanks to my coach Ken Thompson. He's a good coach in Western Australia.
Got to get that plug in.
Got to get that plug in. He's now the Australian coach too, so congratulations to him. With a lot of games and a lot of practice.
Okay, then, I mean, I can see how tremendous that would be. I mean, you'd have to have, I guess, a lot of arm strength and what have you to do that, you know, over a long period of time as well.
Yeah, you do. Mainly you find yourself having to get the timing right. That's the most important thing with bowling. Timing and hitting your target. Paul will tell you all about that.
Yeah, well, I know about hitting the target. I throw enough gutters, though. Anyway, Paul, you're from Melbourne. How are you finding it over here, and how long have you been in the sport?
I've also been in the sport about 15 years as well, and Perth's fantastic. I've only been here once before, and I've really actually wanted to come to this particular tournament for quite a while, and took the plunge this year and decided to come. And it's really been fantastic. The weather's magnificent, and the lanes, the centre's really nice, the people are really good. Yeah, it's been a really good trip so far.
So other than me, everybody's treated you pretty nicely.
That's about it, yeah.
Okay, then. Well, you know, I've just been actually bowled over by some of the talent that's out here. So if you guys could tell us how many people are on your team, or is this an individual event?
This is an individual event. I always liken it to, say, a golf tournament. Anyone who wants to come along can come along and have an entry. You play against everybody else over a certain amount of games over a couple of days. And yeah, it's basically an individual sport in these sorts of tournaments.
Okay, now I've got to ask you guys, being an old sporting person myself, has fatigue set in?
Just about. It's been a long 3 days. It's been a long 3 days, Wayne. What sport do you play?
Well, I used to play basketball. I used to have some skills back in the prehistoric age. You know, I knew Fred Flintstone.
Right. I'd like to hear that.
So, okay, now the fact that you're playing here and it's an individual event, and you're playing in Perth and you're at home, does that give you some kind of advantage over Paul?
Well, I think the crowd might be on my side. I hope they will be anyway. They'll be cheering for Paul though.
Okay, then. Well, I mean, both of you guys have done a tremendous job to get here. How many tournaments is this for you now?
I would have bowled probably 40 or 50 by now. We generally bowl somewhere between 10 and 15 per year. And you can travel around the country, or there's quite a few in your home state. I go to Canberra a couple of times, New South Wales, South Australia, and as I say, the first time I've come to this tournament in Perth. So if you travel around a bit, you can go to quite a number of tournaments throughout a year.
Excellent. As you can hear, all those people in the background are cheering for me, but I'm not taking any autographs. Now, John, do you have any family here?
I do. My wife Helen and my son Alex. I've got another one on the way. My mum and dad live in a small town in Albany. Okay. And they come and visit as often as they can, and they support me in my bowling. Yeah.
Excellent. That's brilliant. Well, you know, I've actually been, wanting to do a little bit of bowling myself, but I realized a small thing. I have no talent at the sport. But so I'm just going to watch you guys in earnest and wish you guys all the best in this playoff. And should be fun. And before we do this, we just have to go to a break.
Buddy from the break, and we're still here down the bowling alley. I'm speaking to a couple of the other competitors, the second and third winners. How you going, Mike?
Yeah, I'm going pretty good so far today. It's been a pretty good day.
Yeah, and how you going, Steve?
Not bad, feeling pretty confident.
Okay, what would you say the competition was like in this event?
Very difficult. A lot of great bowlers actually bowling today, and it's going to be a pretty hard finish, I think. Pretty hard.
What do you think?
Oh, look, it's been a pretty tough weekend. It has been good. There's been a lot of good players, and scores have been very high, so you have to really be on your game. And as I say, it's just come down to a couple of games here where we might win one, might lose one, might be out quick, might be going on a bit, so who knows?
Yeah. And how long have you been bowling?
I've been bowling for 19 years now. Yeah, that's what I say. I'm getting a bit old for it.
And what got you into it?
Basically, I got knocked out at football and thought, hey, this isn't for me anymore.
Yeah.
So that's what put me into bowling.
Yeah. What about you, Steve? How'd you get into it?
My mum, actually. Yeah. She used to go down and bowl all the time and used to drag us down as well. So she got me started, so it was good.
Yeah. Right, like I said before, I'm pretty useless at this sport, but one thing I've noticed from watching is you guys, you can all send it down one side and curve it round. How do you do that?
It's all done with mirrors.
Oh, right. Does it take much training to get to where you can do that?
Oh, no, it doesn't take much training to get where you can do that. Probably if you bowl for probably 3 or 4 months, we could have you hooking the ball from one corner to the other. So it's not that hard. It's just a matter of like once you got it and you know how to do it, you don't forget it.
Also, would like a different, I suppose, like a more expensive ball be better than a cheaper one? Is there stuff like that which helps you?
Oh yeah, like you could get one of those house balls over on the rack over there, and you probably wouldn't be able to bend that at all. But we could give you one of these reactive resin balls, and boy oh boy,
there is a difference.
Oh yeah, they've got a resin in them which sort of grips to the lane and makes it easier to get it to turn the corner.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's pretty easy, the technology these days.
Yeah. Now, also I've noticed some bowlers, they have a glove on their hand. Is there any particular reason for that?
Probably a couple of reasons. Some people tend to sweat quite a lot, which causes them to just drop the ball all the time.
Yeah.
And some people tend to tear their hands up. They get calluses and they come off, that sort of thing. So that just protects their hands.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing.
Yeah. Now, is there any other competitions coming up this year you guys are going to?
Yeah, Melbourne Cup next week in Melbourne. You going, Mick?
Yeah, we're both going to Melbourne next week.
Yeah.
And then in 2 weeks' time, we both go to Qatar for the FIQ Asian Zone Championships, which is the top 6 bowlers in Australia are selected, and we go over and compete against all the Asian Zone countries.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we're both pretty stoked about that.
Yeah. Now, today is obviously a seniors event.
Yeah.
Do either you do team events or couples events?
Yeah, we normally do our team event sort of in October, where it's a state team. You bowl off early in the year and you put in the state team and you go away and compete against all the other states. But I'm not bowling this year because I've just bought a house and I'm supposed to be settling down a bit, and I think Steve's sort of doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So we're both sort of trying to just get our finances back in and probably kick back in maybe next year or the year after.
Okay. Well, guys, from Balls and all, we wish you both the best of luck in the end of this series. And now we're going to go to a story Moose did. It's part 1 of weightlifting, so take a look.
Hi everybody, I'm over at the Belmont Sports and Recreation Center on a nice Sunday afternoon. Beautiful outside, but we're talking to some men, and I don't think there's any lady competitors, but often there is, here with the Olympic weights. And one of the people I'm speaking to here, as you might have seen a couple months back, we spoke to Frank Lamp, but one of the competitors is Kevin Coombs. Hi Kevin.
How you doing?
Good, good. Now tell us a little bit, first of all, what's going on behind, because there's a bunch of people actually learning it more or less in the background, or they're coming on in the early stage. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. There's a lot of new lifters here today, and so this is their first competition. So pretty much.
Now tell us a little bit about you, because you're one of the heavyweights, of course, in this in the weightlifting. How long have you been doing this, first of all?
Been doing about 6 years now.
All right.
Yeah, I got involved with John Patterson, as you can see in the background here.
Okay.
The big old fella.
Yeah, with the nice dyed grey beard.
That's exactly.
Just like I dye my hair. Yeah. Now, what got you involved?
He did actually.
All right.
Yeah, he just. I wasn't doing much, just going to normal gyms and that sort of thing. And he's actually an Olympic masters lifter, and he won the world championships. And he offered to coach me, and I wasn't going to pass up that opportunity.
Now, this isn't really bodybuilding, though, is it?
No. We're going for strength here. We're not going for look.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's mainly on how many kilos you can lift.
All right.
That sort
now,
of thing.
somebody, what kind of ages do they actually prefer to start off?
All ages. It makes no difference. Yeah, you can lift from preferably late teens.
Yeah.
Because your body's still developing, that sort of thing, and then you can go right up to 80. No worries.
Yeah.
I think we've got some fellas here about 77 or whatever.
Really?
Lifting weights. Yeah. Ronald Tompkin, he just lifted before. He's way up in his late 70s. Yeah. He's doing great. Yeah.
So obviously the calcium and the bones are doing well.
Drink plenty of milk.
Drink plenty of milk. Don't mix too much bourbon with it.
No.
Now, how do you start out? What do you do when you're starting out with something like this?
Start light and just keep working your way up. Yeah, a lot of people make the mistake of going into the gym, pushing too much, too heavy, too quick. You know, start light, kilo a week, that sort of thing, and just keep working up from there.
All right. Now, what is your kind of regimen? What's your training, for instance, in your stage now?
I train about twice a week. Let the body recover in between sessions.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Twice a week, and just eat heaps and drink plenty of milk.
I like the eat heaps part.
Yeah.
Now, what about do you do like one day lower body, the next, or one training lower, one up, or just all at once?
Just all at once, yeah. Basically all at once.
How long does a training session go?
About 2 hours.
All right.
Yeah.
Kind of full on.
Yep.
And obviously, you feel that the stretching is important before any.
Very important. Oh yeah.
Before and after.
Before and after. Yep. Before just so you don't pull anything, strain anything, and after for recovery purposes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with what you're doing here, where do you move on? This is West Australian. Do you compete against other states or other nations? What's the deal from here?
Pretty much, I think from here we've got the World Championships in Boston, Massachusetts in September.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
So even though it's called Olympic weightlifting, it's not actually all-round weightlifting. Okay, so that's my mistake. And it's not actually, like Frank told us before, it's not actually an Olympic sport anymore.
Not at all. No. Yeah. The Olympic lifting took over from the all-round lifting because they had to, bring it down. So they came down to 2 lifts.
Yeah.
All-round's got over 150 different types of lifts.
Wow.
So
would that be in one session? Would you have to do all that?
No. The lifts are chosen.
Yeah.
Like for the World Championships, they were chosen last year. So then you've got a year practice on them. So you basically do your heavy stuff and your bulk and stuff and your power stuff, and then the rest is when you specialise when you're coming up closer to a championships.
All right. Now I noticed when we were here last time that they have weights. They add weight on each time, and if you're not lifting that particular weight, well, you don't do that. So you only go in when it's getting to be the weight that you have to lift. So they add what, a couple kilos each time, or 5 kilos a time?
Depends on what the lifter nominates. The next lifter in line, it goes from the lowest weight, and as the bar increases, then the different lifters come in from there, which when they've nominated their weight. We nominate our weights at the start of the competition, where we want to start, and then after each lift we can nominate more. We can't go less.
Okay. Now, are you going to be going to this the big championship in Boston yourself?
I'm hoping to, yeah, for sure.
Is today obviously important in the qualifying?
Towards it, yeah, in the process towards it, yeah.
Okay. Well, we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
And go out there and lift some weights, and hopefully we'll see you. What do you win, actually? Is it a gold? Do you win medals or whatever?
Medals, and there's also a Best Lifter trophy worked out on formula to the best lifter of the overall competition.
Okay, not like a big wrestling belt or anything like that.
No, just little medals and trophies.
That's the future. Thanks, all the best.
Thank you, cheers.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. That was really good down there with the Olympic weightlifters, and we got more of that coming up in the next week or so. Where we went down there and had a good day there with them, and they do that often. So if you want to get into a bit of weightlifting, give them a call, because it looks like a bit of fun. Now, I'm talking to the chap so far who's in first place. They're just about to have the big playoff. Brenton Davey. Hey, Brenton, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
And who do we have here?
This is my little son, Jay. He's 1 year old next Friday.
Okay. Hello, Jay. How are you? What do you want to say? Hello. 1 year old next Friday.
That's right, yes.
Now, how you feel the competition's going so far?
Well, it's gone very well for me so far. Out of the 35 games we've bowled so far, I've only had 3 under 200, so I've been able to score fairly consistently. Had a couple of problems with some right-hand side spares, but other than that, it's been one of my best performances.
What kind of scores average? What's your average at the moment?
Oh, I've averaged 227 for the weekend so far. I hold the tournament record for high average back in 1990. I averaged 233, so I'm fairly close to that mark again this year.
Fantastic. Now, with the you're from Adelaide, of course, so you're in a league over there?
Yes, I bowl a couple of leagues at centres where I own a couple of pro shops.
Okay.
I'm averaging about 212 in league over there.
All right, that's excellent. Now, how you feel the boys are going here? Because I think you got about 3 West Aussies you're against here. Obviously, it's easier for them. There's less travelling, but they tell me they go all over. How do you think everyone's shaping up so far?
Oh, look, they're all tough competitors. Whoever I play in the final, it's going to be a tough match, and I'm going to have to be at my best.
Okay, so we're going to have 5th place, 4th, 2nd place, 3rd. So you sit out while they have their play out?
I sit out until there's one player left after the step ladder.
Oh,
and
really?
that player comes up against me. I do have the advantage, but being top qualifier, that I have the right of a re-challenge if I get beaten in the first final.
Okay.
If I win the first final, then the title's mine, but if I happen to get beaten first time, I do get right of re-challenge because I'm top qualifier.
So obviously a big advantage in being first.
Absolutely.
Now, what do you say to a lot of people out there who, because the sport's waning just a little bit, and we're trying to obviously give it a bit of a plug here now. I used to be a bowler, and there's a lot of people at home who probably thought, geez, you know, sometimes I wouldn't mind having a go. What's the deal? What should they be doing?
Look, bowling is a very healthy sport. A lot of centres are in a non-smoking environment now, and certainly compared to a lot of other sports, it is still cheap, it's a lot of fun, and there is a lot of scope for advancement, you know, to national teams, even to the point if you get good enough to bowl on the pro tours in America. It's a game that has a lot going for it. I've been playing this game for 21 years, and I've certainly gained a lot out of it. And anyone who, from your social league bowler to anyone who wants to really put in the time and effort to, you know, to reach the top, there is a lot of in this sport that there's a lot that you can get out of it for sure.
Now, and of course with bowling, as you say, you can join a league, which means it basically can be just a big muck around league where everyone can get together and just basically have a lot of fun, or go like you and the guys and the ladies here have done, actually get to the higher echelon, really.
Well, that's right. Most leagues have a handicap system which allows everyone to compete on an even basis. I bowl in a couple of scratch leagues, but the majority of people bowl handicap leagues, and the handicaps are there to give everyone an even chance and to help just increase the enjoyment.
For sure. Now, this is the West Australian big challenge at the moment. What happens there? Is there one big final that nationally that happens, or is it just really state by state?
There is a circuit for the national ratings.
Yeah.
There's a number of tournaments, usually around two in each state, for the national ratings title. I'm currently sitting second in the national rankings behind Andrew Frawley. Thank you. And this tournament, with a little bit, we'll be about neck and neck going next week into the Melbourne Cup. And the first place for the national ratings winner is some cash and a trip to the US Open.
Fantastic.
And
have you played overseas yet?
I bowled a few pro-ams back in about 1990 over there.
Yeah.
I really do want to get back there. You know, families and that sort of thing. Starting new businesses make it a little difficult. But other than that, you know, it's still an ambition for me to go back there.
And you're enjoying it anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
And congratulations to this little one here who's going to be a year old next week. What else did you want to say, eh? Come on, you're real chatty when you didn't have the mic. Oh, he doesn't like it. Okay, we're going to be taking a break. We'll be right back after these messages right here at the Fairlanes Bowling Alley.
Welcome back from the break, everybody.
Hey, you know what, James?
What?
Sometimes you just got to put your balls on the line, as we do every week, and we love it here. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Now, aren't we on the best damn show, probably in Australia, but at least in Perth. Wouldn't you say that?
I'd say the world, Wayne, the world.
Yeah, I'd say, we're doing more than just moosing around, aren't we?
Yeah, that's right, mate. Everything's still going.
And as we move along, and we're having a bit of fun, and it's all good.
All good, it's all right.
James, now, how was your weekend?
Yeah, it was pretty busy.
All right, thank you very much. That's enough.
Thanks, mate. How was yours?
Nothing I can comment on, but it was all good.
Yeah, back to business.
Okay, now back to business. Now there's a
next story.
new band on the horizon.
Oh, they're going, big places. I think this band, and hey, you're in it.
How strange is that?
Yeah. Well, as you can see, what we're going to do is we're going to show a bit of a clip of one of the quite new songs, the Santana song, which is your band does very well, I'd like to say.
Well, thank you, and your check's in the mail.
Thank you very much. And before we go to it, Wayne, I'd like to say, because we were there, the crew were there, we did the actual show from there that day, but we couldn't fit it on that show. It all looks good on camera and sounds good, but you really should get down and see this band live, because they are good.
Well,
so is my check bigger now? Or
yeah,
what?
your check is just improved tremendously. So just check the footage at the end, and you'll see a name. You might even know me, and you can get in touch with us if you want to do your gig or whatever.
Or just come down and have a look.
That's right.
So take a look at the story.
We'll bowl you over, baby.
Swinging.
Swanging.
Swanging.
Swanging. Swanging.
All right, we better go now. No, there's action.
Action. A lot of action going on. How you doing?
Pretty good.
That's good. Now, where have you been?
I've been trying to organise us getting on the John C. Stennis aircraft carrier.
Oh, thank you.
In English?
Trying to get us on an aircraft carrier.
All right, there we go.
Okay, then. Well, that's very good. And how have your efforts been so far?
We're going on tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning.
No, not tomorrow, because this is a week in advance.
But that's good,
We were there last week.
Yeah.
And it was good.
It was all good.
Back to business. Well, let's go that story.
Okay, well, everyone, don't forget, Wayne, you play kind of all over the place, don't you? You and the band, the crew.
The crew. And we're going to be navigating. We're going to be navigating into a place near you. Navigating.
English, Wayne.
We're going to be navigating. Everybody say this with me.
Talking about navigating, we hope to be bringing you next week's show from one of the aircraft carriers. Which one are we going on, Action Man?
It's called the John C. Stennis. It's the newest one they've got out.
So if you're into boats and whatever, you feel a little bit naval, make sure you watch next week's show. Well, we've had a good time here at the bowling alley.
Yeah, certainly have.
We've had a humdinger of a time, haven't we?
Humdinger. And
humdinger.
Now, what we want you to do is make sure if you want to get involved with bowling, just contact any of the bowling alleys. There's about 6 or 7 all over the metro area, and have a bit of fun with them. And maybe one day we'll be down here interviewing you about why you were one of the best in Australia.
Before we go, Moose, I'd like to say goodnight to all the drunks in Redcliffe in the front house.
Okay.
They're regular viewers and they said to say hello, so I'm doing it. How's it going, guys?
Okay, yeah, we've got a lot of people though. We got people from all over the place who say they watch the show. It gets recorded and sent to Port Hedland, so hello to all the gang up at Port Hedland there.
Have a drink on us.
The guys over at the U.S. Navy base in Alice Springs.
Sure did.
Picking this up with their satellite dish, and a bunch of people down in Collie told us they're watching the show.
Also in Mandurah.
And Mandurah, a lot of people. Oh, hello to everyone in Mandurah.
Go Mandurah.
Congratulations to Kristen down there and Martin for getting engaged recently. Hello to you down there and all the gang down at Mandurah.
And I have a check for $1,500. Get the important bits out of the way first. So therefore it means that this year winning his 4th Perth Cup, we've got, if I can read it right, 87, 90, 91 and now 2000. Brenton Davey, Perth Cup champion 2000. $2,500 cash. Next year he's hopefully going to come back and defend his title. He also receives entry into the Manhattan Super Classic for next year, the Melville Cup for next year, and the Rosemary Cup for next year. So well done, Brenton.
Well, we're going to go, okay, everyone?
I thought we were going to stay here for a while. Somebody put some shrimps in the bar.
Anyone else want to say hi to the place? No, very polite. Okay, well, everyone, this is the show from Fairlanes here. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. And don't forget, if you got a sports or a leisure activity, what should they do, Wayne?
They should definitely ring us up or email us. Emailing is good.
Yeah, email's the easiest way. Send us the details. Try to give us plenty of notice. And if you've got something like this you want one or all of us to wear, send it in to us. Obviously, some people have to have a little bit bigger size than others.
Hey, we'll even wear knapsacks.
Well, some people. And we'll be sure to see it. So make sure you be seen, be safe. Have a look out on the roads for the people on bikes and motorbikes. Well, everyone, the name of the show every Monday night here on Channel 31, 8:30 is
Balls and All.